Welcome to the Colonel Does Feed the Beast. We are on the TPPI server, and this scared the crap out of me when I logged in earlier. This was, I guess, a gift left by Cat Dog. Um, Funny, but I gotta go change my underwear. Alrighty, we are back. Feeling a little fresher. So we been doing some things, and in the last episode, we were trying to get some silk touch action going on, so that we could get some grass up here, so that we could make sure that our sheep were regenerating their wool, and we managed to do that. And it actually is story of my life. So in order to I don't even know where to start. So what we needed to do was we needed to first really build up our enchanting table, right? So I managed to do that. And how did I do that? Well, we grabbed some cows. I went to the nether and was able to snag a couple of ghasts and get a bunch of ghast tears. So I made a couple of safari nets and sucked a couple of cows in here. And we made a little bit of a cow farm. I'm going to do something with this. I've got some plans for this guy here, which we'll probably do in the next couple of episodes, just for something kicks and giggles. So we were able to get the leather from these guys so that we can make the books, so that we can make the bookcases. So we've got our enchanting set up there. I anticipated that taking shorter than the amount of time, or taking longer than it would take for us to get the string necessary to get those silk touch for the pick. Well, this is the last one I needed to harvest. Oh, that was a short one. What do you know? I need to go back to school and learn how to count. So we have 7 strings, so I need one more string, and then I can make one of these guys, silky cloth, and I need 4 of those in order to make the silky jewel, which I can apply to a Tinker's Construct tool. Unfortunately, as I was in the nether trying to get some of those ghast tears, a nitro creeper blew me up, and it took my pick with it. So I did not have my basic iron regenerating pick. As it happens, just a short while ago, I enchanted this guy. And we've also been digging out the mine down below, and some of the things that we have found include 36 diamonds, and we've probably used maybe 10 to 15 of them already with picks and a pick that blew up. So we've been gathering a lot of resources. I've got a bunch of chests down the basement. We've started to get some more stone. So we're doing good for material. And so things, I'm happy with where we're at this point. Because that was the big hump, is trying to get the diamonds so that we can get things set up. So now that we have those, oh, there we go. So now that we have those, that's definitely a load off. So let's make this guy here. And now that I'm doing this, I can't remember how to make the stupid things. Silky cloth. Gold nugget. And I got a gold nugget right here. And I can't remember how to make the... Is it this one? Yeah, silky jewel. So we need an emerald, and we have a couple of those. Let's get these guys. And there's the emerald. So we'll finish making this, and we'll put it aside so that we can use it when we do get our Tinker's Construct tools all squared away. There we go. Okay, awesome. One thing off the list. Alright, so there were a couple things that I wanted to do in this episode, and I think we're in a position now that we can actually do them. For the longest time we weren't. And that is, if I can find my stupid notes here. Good God, man. Chicken scratch. Okay, so we got our enchanting table done. And we have our cows in order to make the enchanting table, so we did that. And so what I want to do in this episode are two things. I want to ease myself into computer craft, and by doing that, I want to set up the sheep farm and get that to automatically shear the sheep. And before I start doing that, though, I want to make sure the sheep are dyed. Now, we've been harvesting these guys here, and these were a gift from CatDog. So we've got 15 seeds, and we've been harvesting them periodically. And when you break them, there's a chance that they will drop nature essence and weak essence. I'm not, oh crap. Oh, you bugger. Get out of my crops, man. Gotta be careful here. My sword is one of those fire aspect swords. There we go. So as I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted, is that they drop weak essence, they drop nature essence. These are, I think, rare and rarer. And then we have a dye essence that it drops as well. And usually the dye essence, I think, is a 1-for-1 for however many for the seed. So, let's go back in here. It's getting chilly out there. So we've amassed a bunch of this dye. And with magical crops, you can actually craft dyes just from this essence. So they use different patterns in the crafting table. So we're going to make a few of those so that we can get some dyes for our sheep. Now, there's 3 dyes that it does not make. The first one would be white, which is, I guess, for white sheep, it's a default. Also, you can get that from bone meal. So that's renewable. The blue dye, which is from lapis lazuli, and the brown dye, which you can get from cocoa beans. All of the other colors you can make with the dye essence. So we're gonna make a bunch of those. We're not gonna make too many. We're just gonna kind of do one run of each so that we can get some of these dyes. So we get our ink sac. So that's our black. And then we can get red. And then I think the next one is green. So we don't need cactus for that, which is good. And I think you can craft these dye seeds. I have to look into that a little more. I'm a little unfamiliar with the Magic Crops mod. So this is my first foray into it. All right, so that was cyan, and now this one here is light gray, and then this one should be gray, then pink. And if you've been watching Cat Dogs, this should look familiar with his pink farm. All right, so there we go. That's the lime. Then we have yellow, and then cyan. And I think what we can do with these is, I'm not sure what's the best way to do it. So I want to use turtles as much as I can, but I have a feeling that the way that makes most sense is to use, I'm not sure if MFR works with these or not. I know that there's a recent version of the Magical Crops, I think. I might be... Oh, you know what? I'm thinking of extra utilities with the Ender Pearls. So I think you can use these with the autonomous... Not the autonomous activators. Well, I guess you could with that too. But I think you can use turtles with these to break the plant and then suck up the items. So if that's the case, then we could automatically craft dyes as we go. and just every time we have enough, just make one of each die. So we'll have to see how that goes. Probably notice that you do not hear any of these sheep. I made a few mufflers in the floor just to save my sanity. So let's do a couple of these. So let me dye some of these guys, and we'll be back in a sec. Alright, so we have all of our cows died, all of our sheep died except for the one. We need to get the brown wool, and I have not found a jungle biome, so we're not going to have brown wool for a while, which is fine. That's not a problem. So what we want to do is we want to use this turtle to do the sheep. And what we are going to do is we're going to write a little bit of a program. That's a pretty simple one, and this is more of an experiment than anything to do this on camera, because writing code generally can be boring, but we're going to attempt it. It's not going to be a long program, so maybe this won't be too big of a deal. So we have named this guy Shearman. Use our turtle for shearing sheep. So I'm going to have to switch texture packs back to default, because the font that's used in the Sortex pack it just kind of looks weird. Like you can see how the letters are bunched up. So in order to fix that, I have to switch to a different mod pack or change the font altogether. When I've changed the font in this, it crashes the game, so I can't do that. So I'm going to go back and switch to default, and we'll be back in a sec, and we'll get ready with this program. Alright, we are back, and we are in our default texture pack, so things look a little different. Okay, so what we want to do is, we don't have anything on the turtle right now. Actually, we do. We have Shearman. This is something that I was working on that is not working very well, so just going to start from scratch and just kind of go back to basics. And to remove it, we just do remove Shearman. And last step, I think it was. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we don't really need to have a program called Shearman. We are just going to use a startup. So when you edit a startup file, it will automatically run that every time you plop the turtle down. So it'll immediately start that up with that program. So that's what we're going to do, because we're just going to do something very, very simple. We don't need to go too nuts with it. Although I think down the road we might, to accommodate things such as, if a chunk unloads or the server crashes or something, and we're in the middle of something, then it will kind of screw things up. So let's just, in fact, you know what? We're not even no. I changed my mind already. We are going to use a program called Shearman. Because if we use startup and we do startup in the middle, so if the server reboots or I log out or something and we come back in, then what will happen is it will assume that it's starting over. So if we're like halfway through a cycle of shearing the sheep, then it could potentially screw everything up. So let's edit Shearman, and we're just going to run this guy automatically. And down the road, we will add some automation into it to make sure that it's tracking exactly where it is in the process, so that if it does unload, then when it comes back on and reboots, then it'll start off where it left off. Alright. So if you're not familiar with Computercraft, the 2 dashes are for comments. So this is a Shearman, to shear sheep. And again, it's going to be very simple. It'll look long, but it really is very, very simple. So what we want to first start off with is we're going to make 3 functions. And the 3 functions are to actually do a cycle. So, when we go through, so starting right here and going all the way down the row, coming across and then coming all the way back over, and then basically starting back here, that's going to be one cycle. So we're just going to do that infinitely. So we're going to have a function to do the cycle so that we can just repeat it. And then we're also going to have one so that while we're in the cycle, we're going to shear one pen. So we've got 16 pens, so we're going to redo that, basically reuse the same code 16 times. So we're going to stick that into its own function. And then the last thing will be to unload the wool into the chest. So let's first start with shearing the cycle. And we're not going to pass it anything, so we're just using the closed braces. So this first, if I learn how to type. So the first section is to move from the chest to the start of the row. And we're going to assume that we're always facing to the west in this case, so facing forward basically. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to tell the turtle to go up. And then we're going to make them turn left. And then we're going to make them go forward. And we're not going to do this for the entire the entire process, but just to kind of get us started here. So we go up left, and then we go forward, and we do that 3 times. I'm sorry, 2 times. And then we'll turn him left again so that he's facing down the row. And then we'll make him go down 1. Okay. And then the next section will be to shear the north row. Okay. So up, left, forward, left, down. So basically, this is like 1.5 blocks high. So if the turtle is going to try and move forward here, I don't think it could. And I really don't want to mess around with trying to figure out if it will or not. It's just easier for me to have the turtle go up. So I'm going to send him up. He's going to turn left. Going to go forward. He's going to turn left so he's facing down the row. And then he's going to go down 1. So he's going to be basically right above the sheep. Okay, so now he's going to shear the north row. So we're going to set this, each of the pens is going to be their own little process. So what we're going to do is we're going to count, starting at the first pen. We're going to go to the 8th pen. We're going to increment it by 1. So increment the count. So go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to do. And we're going to call the shear pen function. And then that's it. So we're basically going to do the same thing 8 times. So we'll come back to that function in a bit. Okay. So then we want to do a transition, which is basically down the other end. So we're going to have him basically go from this side of the row to this side of the row. So let me get that in there. OCD, I need to be in the middle. Oh, that's too funny. All right, so let me get that code in there and we'll be back in a sec. Okay, so basically we got the north row here. We just finished doing that. So now we're transitioning from the north row to the south row. And so the north is on the left here and the south is on the right. So we're going to have the turtle go up. So right now, when he's at the end of the row, he is basically right here in this block here, above the last of the sheep. So we need him to go up and then over and then come back down 1. So we're going to send him up, and then he's going to turn left, and then he's going to go forward 4 times to go across the walkway here. And then he's going to turn left, so he's basically facing this direction again, and then go down. And that's the end, basically, of the shear cycle. So the next function that we need to do is to do the actually shearing within the pen. So we start that out, and basically what we're going to have is the turtle is going to do the same thing in each of the pens. So he's first going to, so in order to shear the sheep, you can't right click anything, but what I understand is that if you use place, it will try and use the item. So in the case of shears, we're going to put the shears in slot 1 in the turtle. And you can see them right here. They're in slot 1. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way up to 16. So slot 1, we're going to place down slot 1. So we're basically going to try and place the shears down against the sheep. So that will effectively shear them. Now, the next part, I'm not sure if it's going to work. So we're going to have to test this out once we get started here. But basically, there's a function called suck. Oops. Oh my god. Suck down. And what that will do is any items that are below it, it'll suck it up. So I'm hoping that as the wool is in the air, it'll automatically suck them up into the inventory of the turtle, but I'm not sure that that's going to happen. So it'll be interesting. And now that I think of it, this might not actually work. I might have to change the cycle up a bit. It'll work fine now because we have only 15 different colors, but once we have a 16th color, this is not going to work. So we might have to do one row and come back and then do another row. Oh, awesome. All right, well, anyway, let's continue. Let's at least get it working anyway. So he's going to shear the sheep. He's going to try and pull the wool into its inventory. And then we are going to move the guy forward in the pen. So he's going to do the next sheep and do the same thing. So turtle, place down, slot 1, and then suck down to pull the wool in. And then we're going to move him forward 1. And of course I need to spell that right. There we go. And that should be it for shearing the pen. And then the last function that we're going to need is to unload the wool. And again, this one we might need to actually use twice down the road once we get this thing working. But for now, let's try this out. So unloading the wool. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to cycle through each of the slots and try and place it down in the inventory. So when we call the unload wool function, we're going to actually be right where we are right now, right above the chest. So we're going to cycle through each of the slots. So for slot equals 2 to 16, step it through one at a time. And what we're going to do is drop. I think drop will work. So basically it'll try and drop the item, but if there's an inventory detected below it, it will try and actually place it into the inventory. And that should be it. Oop. Yeah, end. Oops. Did I do something? Oh, I totally did. Oops. I had already put this code in. Nuts. Alright, so how am I going to do this? I guess we're just going to have to retype this in. Because basically it's recycling the same code. So returning to the chest is basically the transition that we did from the north to the south. But in this case, we're doing it from the south to the north. And we're just having him stop at the chest so that when we do the next part of the cycle, he's already in place. So, yeah. So let me add this this stuff to this first function here, the shear cycle. and be back in a second. All right, so we've added those back in. So we're basically going through and doing the north row, transitioning over, doing the south row, and then coming back to the chest. Okay, so now we need to basically execute those. So everything right now has been in a function, so we need to actually reference the functions. So we're basically going to do an infinite loop. So while true, which is always the case, so do, and we are going to, nope, we are going to do shear cycle. So basically we're calling the shear cycle function. So we're going to do a shear cycle, and then we're going to unload the wool at the end of the cycle. And then it's basically going to repeat itself over and over and over, and until the turtle unloads itself, and then we'd have to start it over again. So to get out of the terminal, Turtles 101, you hit the control key, hit save, and then hit enter to save, and then hit the control key, and then move your cursor over to exit and hit enter. Alright, so now to execute it, we just type in Shearman. Oh, come on. I knew there was going to be something. Okay, so this says that on line 14 there's a Shearman is the string. Did I screw something up? For count equals 1 to 8, comma 1 do. That should be correct. I don't know what I was thinking. There is no to keyword. I was thinking of my the pseudocode that I was writing. So 1 comma 8 is the way that that's supposed to look. So let's correct that here, because 2 is a string and it doesn't like that. So 1 comma 8, and I think that was the last loop that we had. Nope, no it wasn't. There we go. Alright. Now we're good. Let's run it again. Okay, so you gotta be kidding me. Alright, it appears that I'm a dingleberry. The turtles need fuel to run. I forgot to load it with fuel, so you always have to do that. So remember to fuel your turtle if he's not moving. He can turn, but he can't move. And also, one thing I forgot, once I figured out what the problem was, I noticed that he wasn't going the full length of the row, and it was because I was missing a forward. So basically I was having him try and shear the sheep, move forward, shear the sheep, and then move forward, and then it would start the next pen over. But you need to have an extra forward in there. And actually, now that I think of it, I'm going to take that out. So what I had before was correct, but what I'm going to do is go up here to shear pen. So at the end of each pen, actually, you know what? I don't even think I need to do that. I think I had it right before. So turtle forward. Okay, so let's run this guy without any shears and see what he does. I haven't had him go through a full cycle, so he doesn't go down. I guess because there's a sheep there. So that's going to screw things up. And he can't go up at the end. So this first down, so basically we're not going to be able to do that. So he's going to come back here. See, he goes up and then tries to place something down. Alright, so you hold down Control T, and it will terminate the program eventually. Cool. Okay, so we don't want it to go down. So up, left, forward, forward, turn left, and we don't want them to go down. So basically that eliminates any requirement then for it to do the up between the transition, and we don't need it to do the down anymore. We just need it to go up and down at the very end, or at the very beginning and the very end. So return to chest, we don't need it to go up. We just need it to go down. I think we're good. So he's going all the way down, and then when he gets to the end, he should just kind of go back around the same way, which I think is what he was doing before. But now he should just stay here and then come down. Cool. And then basically repeat himself. Alright, so let's give him... Damn it. Let's give him... Stupid thing. I'm trying to give you something, man. There. Oh, you cow! Man. Irritating, irritating, irritating. Get out of the way. Jesus. Oh, forget it. Okay, I figured out why it wasn't dropping the items into the chest, and that is because it doesn't work the way I thought it did. So you can have it drop it into the chest by the slot, but what drop down will do is actually drop down the number of items that you provide it. The slot, you actually have to select it, and to do that you do a select with the slot number, and then do that. That should work. Let's see if that works. Oh, I know why he stopped doing stuff. He's out of fuel. That's gonna be a problem if he's running out of fuel so quickly. If I do refuel... Yeah. He didn't have any. So basically 1 coal is 80 fuel. So when I did refuel, it took it out of the first slot. It took 1. So 1 coal is 80, and now he's at 480. So let's try and do this again. Put 2 lime in there, give him a stone, and we'll give him dirt. He should be fine all the way to the end. Stop looking at me, sheep. Alright. It's coming around. Might as well eat some steak while I'm waiting. Awesome. Unloads perfectly. Okay, so now let's give him some shears. Maybe. Maybe, maybe, maybe. Oh, for crying out loud. Okay, he's not shearing anything. Not good. Haha! Although, I guess it's kind of a ha, because the other part of the ha isn't hawing. So it appears as though, similar to the way that we had to select the slot to drop stuff into the chest, we also have to... Why didn't it pick those up? We also have to select the slot that the shears are in. So I think we're going to have to do a sleep. I don't know why I didn't pick the rest of this stuff up, though. It's a little disconcerting. But quite happy. Let's terminate that. Terminate, 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 you piece of crap. Holy smokes. Terminate. Thank you. Did he have anything? No, he didn't grab anything because... Oh my god. Why? I've also read that when it shears it, it's supposed to automatically suck the stuff up, and I don't actually need to have a suck command. So, I don't know. It's kind of weird. So, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, so that's right. So it's just leaving some on the ground. So I think what we need to do is add a sleep cycle to this guy. Let's see, how much fuel does he have? 74 fuel. So each motion and each shear is taking fuel. Man, it does use a lot of fuel. So we need to add a sleep cycle in so he's not completely running around the room. And I think we can call this program done. I think we're going to still have some leftover stuff on the ground, which is kind of crappy, to be honest. But I don't know of any way around that, because the turtle can't move down to grab it. So what we could do... maybe we can't. I was thinking of putting hoppers under there, but I don't think that would work. So let's see. Shearman. So we want to have him sleep at the end of each cycle. And let me... I think it is turtle.sleep, but let me make sure. Okay, so it is sleep. And we do an OS sleep and the number of seconds that we want him to sleep. So I think if we give it, let's say 2 minutes, 120 seconds, that should be sufficient to allow everybody to get their wool back, or at least enough. So it's been maybe 2 minutes, maybe a little less. Maybe we need to increase it. Let's make it 3 minutes. And then I think we'll call it done. That's 180 seconds. And we need to give him new shears. Did those old shears break? So I might have to enchant some shears. I think there's a way to enchant shears so that they don't break when you're using them on wool. So let me, I'll look into that as well. But I think from the perspective of this program, I think we are good. Yeah, I don't know why those are not getting sucked up. Cool. So hopefully this was educational. I don't think we're going to do this too often. We'll probably just kind of highlight some programs and put them on Pastebin or something. But this was a pretty simple program, I think, and kind of gives you some of the idea of what you're looking for when you're, or the things you're going to come across when you're messing with computer crafts. So hopefully you enjoyed it. So we've got our sheep farm, and so we've seen the rest of the base kind of... Oh, crap, I need to... let me unload this crap. I want to go back down there because we need to see if there's any ores that the turtle that's digging the hole has come across. I assume there is. Not quite sure how far down we're going to go with this. And I really want to get this this marble. And you can't see anything down here because it's so dark. So I think we're going to end the episode here. I'm going to grab what's left down here from the turtle and try not to die in the process. And hopefully we'll get up to some other things. I've got some ideas that we're going to use up above on the surface for farms and stuff. So hopefully we can get that get started in on that. Some platforms that'll make it kind of look a little futuristic. So hopefully that's what's in store for the next episode. So if you have any comments or suggestions, please feel free to leave them below. And until next episode, please do take care. Hey, do you like what you just saw? Consider giving me a big thumbs up or leaving a comment below. Thanks for watching.